Hi there, I'm G, and this is my week one devlog for Indiecade Climate Jam 2025. So, while the game jam itself doesn't start until Friday the 13th, this week for the interns, we had a couple different assignments to kind of get our brains going on what do natural disasters mean to us, how do games kind of tell that story through environmental storytelling and other elements like that. And yeah, so I'm just going to talk about that. The first assignment I got to tackle was the play search one. Essentially, you had to play three different titles in which their environments had like hidden themes that like as part of this story, but they're like hidden in the environments. So for that, I decided to really focus on how the game mechanics kind of lead into these hidden themes and clues as to like the story of the game. So I ended up choosing the game Unpacking, which, as the title suggests, unpacking, you take things out of boxes, and over the course of several different scenes, you could see like this the trajectory of someone's life, like from childhood to adulthood, and that I thought was really interesting. I really like that. I like that game personally, but also I think it really worked well. The two other games I played a Sky, Children of the Light, and while this game is still pretty early access, I really enjoyed the open world environments, and so I really want to talk about a lot of the metaphors that are being shared. So it's like developing friendship with other players. You light candles or torches with them. I thought that was really sweet. And the final game I played was playing Kafka, which is more, I would compare it more so to like a visual novel because they're based on short stories by the author Kafka. And so, I mainly wanted to talk about how it felt a lot like those point and click adventure games, where like you kind of had to find the clues by moving the characters around. Because while you get the text of the overall story, you kind of find things as you go through and like little like clues and hints to things like about the author and about the story. The other assignment that we had was a climate disaster reflection. And so essentially, we had to talk about like a natural disaster and how that personally impacted us and just kind of get our brains thinking about what we want to do for the ideation process that starts this week. I decided to take a little more of a different route with this. I decided to focus more so on my home state of Michigan and how, while I have not been a victim to a hurricane or tornado, there's kind of this big discussion that goes around with people. It's like, oh, Michigan's this like sanctuary from climate change. And it's like we still have all these severe issues. We have mass flooding, erosion. So I kind of talked about like we should be focusing on protecting the resources and the places that we have before we kind of advertise that, oh, we're just kind of immune to climate change. Because I think that's maybe a false sense of hope, but also it's just kind of a myth. Yeah, so those were the two assignments I got to do. For that one, for the reflection, I decided to write because I felt like that was kind of the easiest way to get my personal voice. It was easier for me than try to read and memorize off a script. I wanted it to sound as genuine as I could, with still having like academic credit, obviously. So yeah, that is kind of just a description of all the development I did this week. So the game jam officially starts on Friday. So hopefully next week I'll have a little more to talk about, considering the ideation process, meeting with my team, stuff like that. And yeah, thank you.